All right, this is our next episode of True Wrestling Fan Discussions. Continue our WCW Clash of the Champions review series. This is going to be Clash of the Champions 18. I'm your host, Mike.
I'm Frank, man. Let's get into it. This is a build-up for Super Brawl 2 coming up the following month in February. This was January
Mm.
21st, 1992 from Topeka, Kansas. And this one was actually, it was a pretty important one. They brought in the new executive vice president
Pizza
at
Hut is
this
gone.
time.
Pizza Hut is gone. Heard? See
Thank
ya.
God. And they've got Luger's name on the contract, and they announced that who will be filling the challenger role at Super Brawl against said champion.
Luger is not going to be around too much longer.
No, he's on his way out. He's probably 1 foot out the door. So let's go ahead and get it all started here. The opening matchup of the evening, you had the Steiner brothers versus Vader and Mr. Hughes. This wasn't a bad match.
No,
I mean, the common denominator for suck would be Mr. Hughes.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I was really impressed about how the Steiner brothers were able to maneuver their suplexes on both Vader and Hughes and not hurt them. This was pretty impressive.
Yeah, it was.
And the Steiners are gunning for the Dangerous Alliance. Remember, they did not lose the tag team titles when Scott got hurt. They are gunning for them back now that he's 100% healthy. The match itself was pretty good. The crowd was really into it. Rick Steiner with a top rope bulldog on Hughes. That's how he got the pin, while Scott Steiner and Vader were fighting on the outside. And, of course, Harley Race got involved from time to time. But the Steiner brothers got the victory over Vader and Mr. Hughes in this one. So, next match on the card was Marcus Alexander Bagwell and Flying Brian Pillman versus the Tailor-Made Man.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And Tracy Smothers. Oh, yeah. All these tag team matches where they're just throwing people together. I mean, Pillman and Bagwell look good together.
They did. They did.
You know, and of course, tag team wrestling is going to kind of be in Pillman's future here in about, a short period of time, within the next, I'd say, 8 months to a year. So this is another good match. I'll say that, mainly because of Bagwell and Pillman. I'm not saying it for Taylor and Smothers because they stunk up the joint. And the ending was a little weird for me. Bagwell with the sunset flip on Tracy Smothers. Taylor was holding his hand for him not to get pulled down. Pillman drop kick Taylor, and Smothers, falls down, and Bagwell gets the pin on Tracy Smothers, and they win the match. Now, I would have thought that Taylor was going to be a babyface at this point, seeing as how he kicked the York Foundation to the curb at this point.
Right. That's what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking too. He's not.
So this is at the point where they really don't know what to do with him, I think.
No.
So I don't even think they knew what to do with him from day one. So next match on the card would play a huge influence on who would be receiving a #1 contendership for the light heavyweight title. That's held by Jushin Thunder Liger. This one is Johnny B. Bad versus Richard Morton. And again, not another pretty decent match. I'm giving the credit to Bad, not Morton.
Johnny B. Bad.
I'm so pretty. Morton hit a crossbody drop on Bad, whose momentum reversed it, and Johnny B. Bad gets the victory over Richard Morton. By this point now, take Richard Morton the hell out of the damn singles competition and give him his tag team partner back, because he's stinking up the joint.
It's not his fault, but yeah,
it's not. It's the booking.
I agree with you. Yeah.
Like I've said it before, I'll say it again. There's certain people you don't turn heel, and the Rock and Roll Express are one of them. I'm sorry.
Didn't work for me, brother.
Nope. So now, following that match, Eric Bischoff interviewed not only Brian Pillman but Johnny B. Bad. I was laughing this whole time, especially about Bad. He looked like a little kid going, "It's my turn, it's my turn, it's my turn." Because while Pillman is talking about his future endeavor with Liger and their animosity and all that, Bad's trying to take the microphone away from Bischoff. He's putting stickers on Bischoff, puts a sticker on Pillman. Pillman said, "Kiss this," and decks him.
Yeah. Is that a heel turn though? Because I don't remember.
That I felt like the start of it.
Okay.
Because remember,
I don't remember when he turns heel. That's why I don't.
It was around the Liger feud because once he lost the
Okay.
title to him, he kind of lost it a little bit.
Okay.
And this definitely feels like it because Johnny B. Bad's now a brand new
Yeah.
babyface,
I
and
wasn't sure if he just had enough of him, or he
it could have
was.
been that too
Yeah. But
because
Johnny
I
B.
mean
Bad was shocked though.
I
He
would have
was
done the same
shocked.
thing.
He was shocked though. He was like,
I don't see why. I mean, you're trying to take the microphone away. The guy has got something to
yeah.
say. Bischoff will be with you in a minute. Okay. It was a fun segment though.
Yeah, yeah,
Come on,
no, it
come
was
on, come on, come on. Give me the mic. Give me the mic. Next match, you could have fallen asleep on. It was PN News
no Jesus
versus
Christ.
Diamond Dallas Page.
DDP, man.
Yeah,
This is
unfortunately,
DDP. This is early DDP, right? This
good
is
God, this is
as
Diamond
far as
Mine
far as
Page. Yeah,
as far as him being an actual wrestler, right? This is
yeah. This
early.
this was the start of it, pretty
Yeah,
much.
yeah.
And I mean, I would have gone the other way with this since Page is just starting out. You want to try to build him up, but instead they see something in this kid.
They were still pushing man news. I don't know why, man. They just
I don't see it. I really don't. And this was a almost like a squash match on Page
pretty
because
much
it was a little over 3 minutes. PN News hits the Rap Master splash and gets the pin,
see, yo.
and PN News is the winner, pushing a guy you never gave a title to. Okay. Following that, they did the WCW Top 10, which I thought was actually pretty interesting. There's one guy on there that at one point I think he was in the top five about 6 months ago, and now he's in the bottom part. You should start at number 10. You got your boy Larry Zabisco.
Oh, jeez.
Number 9, El Gigante,
Still around.
who's actually he's going down the list now. Not number 8, you got Big Van Vader. Number 7, Dustin Rhodes. Number 6, Cactus Jack, which is a shock. Number 5, Rick Steiner. 4, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. 3, Stunning Steve Austin. At number 2, Sting. And of course, at number 1, the WCW United States Champion, Ravishing Rick Rude, with Lex Luger above them all. You're never going to see Rude face Luger.
No. Well, because Luger goes to WWF. Well, technically, yeah. He went to the World Bodybuilding, right? That's what he went to at first because he had that contract where he couldn't compete. Like, it was a no compete clause for however many days, whatever the hell it was, and they try to. That's how they circumvented it. But then he gets into that. So he shows up at WrestleMania. Remember, he's on the screen on WrestleMania, World Bodybuilding, and then he gets into that really bad motorcycle accident.
Yeah, this is a couple of days off the Snickers bars.
Yeah.
And he still looked better than he did in WCW.
Yeah, so.
But we didn't know what to do. Well, I should say Vince didn't know what to do. Hulk Hogan Part 2, brother.
Doesn't work.
Why don't you just call him Hulk Hogan 2000? Get it over with.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Exactly. Now, following the top 10, Tony Schiavone interviewed the new man in charge, K. Allen Fry. Like you're going to make a difference. He wasn't new executive VP in WCW. None of them.
He wasn't there very long.
None of them.
No, he was just he was kind of like a placeholder.
Yeah. He announced that at Super Brawl 2, Lex Luger will defend his title. Then they, before they announced the challenger, they introduced who would be doing the play calling, starting in the Super Brawl, Jesse the Body Ventura, who said, "I've been away from wrestling far too long." It was good to see Jesse there. It was for a short time.
Yeah, it was only a couple of years, but
it's all right.
It was good. Jesse was awesome, man. He was tremendous.
I mean, I remember after WrestleMania 6 putting on SummerSlam 90, and I'm like, where the hell is Jesse?
It wasn't the same
without Jesse and Monsoon.
And Jesse on Saturday night's main event.
Yes,
so good, man.
Yeah. Now I can enjoy, even though this is not, this is the sort of good and bad time of WCW. He's doing the commentating with Ross or with Schiavone. And that's not saying much if you put with Schiavone.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Then after that, Sting was announced as the challenger for Lex Luger at Super Brawl 2. And plus they had some pre-recorded comments from Lex Luger about the whole thing. And then Sting signed the contract with no problem. And remember, Luger actually even said, "I'll be going in there with a good friend of mine." Mm-hmm. So even back then, they had the animosity between each other. Right. But this was business and friendship aside.
I mean, he did throw him a beating at the last clash for no reason.
One, to start the rivalry.
No, I know what I'm saying.
To start the build-up. But, I mean,
it's one
friend, but it's his business. I got to kick your ass. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I guess.
I'll take it personal. Oh, by the way, your knees busted? My bad.
Mm.
But that actually was a good match at Super Brawl. I remember when we did that
Enjoyed it.
one. Yeah, it was pretty good. And you know, again, making Sting the number one contender, that's the right move right there.
Number one
Moving on
contender,
after
yeah, but
that.
Rude has the.
I know. We talked about it. Certain people,
Certain
once they
people
got
are
that
just
U.S. title, were never recognized as a number one contender.
right,
You'll
right.
be
Just didn't.
you'll be in number one
You'll
in
be
the
in the
top 10,
rankings, but you
but
just
that's where as far as it goes.
yeah.
So next on the agenda was the Falls Count Anywhere match between Van Hammer and Cactus Jack. And my
Spoke
God,
machine.
this match, oh, I enjoyed this one
It
so
was
much.
fun.
This reminded me of the few years later with the Attitude Era,
Mm-hmm.
watching Al Snow and Hardcore Holly
Right,
fighting down by the riverbank. These
mm-hmm.
guys took it everywhere, including the holding pen across the way from the arena for the rodeo.
Yeah, it was fun.
And Missy Hyatt's over there screaming, "Stop! You got to do this." The referee's like, "What do you want me to do?"
It's like
It's a
Rocky
false count
Five.
anywhere.
It's
Yeah.
like Rocky Five, basically.
And then to add comedy to this, Abdullah the Butcher, you don't know who he's going after because he hits Van Hammer, then Cactus hits him, then Abdullah hits Cactus again, then hits Van Hammer with the shovel. Cactus hits him. It's like a triple threat match here. But Abdullah wound up costing Van Hammer the match, and Cactus gets the victory. And at this point now, there's the rivalry between Cactus Jack and Abdullah the Butcher. Ugh. That's just and oh look, the rancher just hit. No, ain't no rancher. That's Abdullah the Butcher. But I did like how they took this match into the crowd, into the back, and especially across the way outside and into the holding pen. So next match on the card, you had Brad Armstrong and Big Josh. Watch out now, tag team of the future against the Fabulous Freebirds.
The new. I believe they said it was the new.
The new and improved. I'm like, what's so new about them?
The gear.
Same
They changed.
guys.
They just changed
Yes,
the gear. That was it. Yeah. We've said in the past that if you put new or 2000 in front of anything, the only
it's gonna stink it. Except New Age Outlaws, which is an exception.
That's
because it's modern day.
It's a new tag team. That's it. No, it's just it's its own thing. It's not a revamp. It's not a reboot of anything. So that doesn't count. We're talking about established tag teams that now they put the new moniker.
New Rockers,
LOD
2000. What about Techno Team 2000?
The new Blackjacks.
What about
but that's not a new tag team. That's not. I'm sorry. It's not a rebranded tag team.
No, but they were garbage anyway.
But anyway.
But the new Fabulous Freebirds, I saw the same old shenanigans that they were pulling all the time. I thought this match for them was beneath them.
It was.
This wasn't an accredited tag team.
But
Brad Armstrong and Big Josh are not a tag team.
I guess at this point, they're not really the Freebirds of old. I guess
it's winding down.
Yeah.
For them, it's coming to an end for the both of them. So this is at the latter part of their career.
He's still a few years away from Doc Hendricks, but
yeah. But remember, the Freebirds had gone away because remember at Super Brawl 4, Jimmy Garvin had actually came back because he had gone away from it. Yeah. So that's why they're on their way. It's on the verge, but they still whooped ass in this one like they always do. And obviously the ref was distracted by Big Josh. This old shtick where he's leaving he gave him a 5 count. He's getting out. He's still chastising him for whatever reason. The Freebirds with the double DDT on Brad Armstrong, and Michael Hayes gets the pin on Brad Armstrong. So the Freebirds, new and improved or whatever, still get the victory. So in my mind, they're still running hot. So next on there, they did it for, and I didn't understand this, the video package for the Steiner brothers. By this point, do you really have to?
Not really, but I guess.
Unless you're catering to them, because remember, they're also a team that in the next few months, they're on their way out.
Yeah, that
so who knows if this could have been a publicity stunt to try to convince them to stick around.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Bischoff interviewed the Steiner brothers, and they made it adamant that they challenged Arn Anderson and Bobby Eaton for the tag team championships. They're coming for what they did not lose.
Which is
true.
I
love the video package. Oh, yeah, because Scott Steiner tore his bicep. They had to forfeit it. Rick Steiner came real close to becoming world champion against Lex Luger, which is why he is where he is in the top 10. And Okay, the Steiners right off the bat coming back should have been the first ones getting the
Hmm.
title shot once Scott was in there. You're still technically, to me, you are the champions, seeing as how you never were pinned for it. So until you lose that match to Anderson and Eaton, you're the unrecognized champions. So next on the card, and this was a heel versus heel match. This didn't make any sense unless they were trying to pull Vinny Vegas off as a babyface and nobody gave him a crap. But it was Vinny Vegas versus Thomas Rich. And the only enjoyment of this, besides the fact that it was 56 seconds, was that Vinny Vegas gets into it with a fan.
Mm.
He calls Tommy Rich, "Hey, Tommy, come here. Get over here. Look at this guy. Look at this guy." And at first he says it, but he comes over, "Hey, look at this guy," and he throws him a beat. I loved it. Out of all those bad gimmicks that Nash had, Vinny Vegas was the
best. This was the best of the worst.
Exactly, the best of the worst.
He did the Snake Eyes, which he actually used in WWF a little while as Diesel.
Yeah. Yeah, they because they were even saying, he goes, "Oh, we've heard about this, whole Snake Eyes thing," and well, he did it on Rich and gets the pin in less than a minute, so squashing the former world heavyweight champion. If they're trying to build up Vinny, okay, but by this point, I think Nash is looking at this gimmick going, "Oh hell, somebody rescue me!" Even though the gimmick kind of worked for him.
Right.
But following that, Bischoff interviewed Paulie Dangerously about the whole Dangerous Alliance. They're taking out the heroes one by one. I love the Dangerous Alliance.
Good stuff, yeah. Dangerous Alliance was good.
Yes, it was. They didn't give Heyman enough credit for this, mainly because Bischoff hated him. There was always a thing.
Did he hate him? I don't know. He does. He's not the one that fires him. It's this guy that fires him, I believe. Fry. What? I think Fry. I think he fires.
Yeah, because I believe it was in '92
yeah,
that Dangerously goes, because in '93 he started with Eastern Championship Wrestling, East Extreme,
yeah.
So, but I mean, if you listen to Heyman and all his interviews, his animosity for Bischoff, we all know, goes towards him claiming he's taking all he's pillaging all his talent from ECW. He mainly refers to there. It's not pillaging, dude. I mean, if they're not under contract, and Bischoff can.
He wasn't. He was robbing his wrestlers anyway. He wasn't paying.
Exactly.
Them,
so. How many times he didn't pay Lance Storm on time?
Yeah.
And he told him, "This is a 3-strike rule. You don't pay me, my check bounces the third time. I'm out of here." It was in the contract. And sure enough, third time, bye bye.
So
I'm going to Bischoff. So next on the card, this actually was a good match. I like this one. It was Dustin Rhodes, Barry Windham, and Ron Simmons versus Arn Anderson and Bobby Eaton, the tag team champions, and Larry Zbyszko. Now, what's his name? Ross was talking this up as far as saying, "Oh, the doctors aren't recommending he be in the ring, blah, blah, blah," because he's got the hand taped up. He looked better than ever. Dustin Rhodes was on fire. This was a really, really good match, in my opinion. You didn't see enough of Ron Simmons in the match, because this was mainly Windham and Rhodes that had issues with the Dangerous Alliance.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I thought Windham was a better heel. I don't know about you.
He was. Always was. Fan favorite babyface didn't work.
Yeah,
it didn't work for him. And when he turned on Dustin, he went back to his roots and all right, now he's heel. Plus, it also felt weird that he's fighting Arn Anderson, which a few years ago y'all are 4 horsemen. And now you're facing each other. I would have seen Windham in the Dangerous Alliance rather than facing them. And of course, Paulie getting involved as normal. Hits Dustin in the ribs with his phone. Gotta love Paulie. The ending was unusual. Eaton goes off the top rope. Windham, as Eaton came down, delivered a right hand, and Windham got the pin on Bobby Eaton, and that's how it ended. So. They won the battle, but the war with the Dangerous Alliance is far, far from over. But they got one win here, and Windham didn't even get any of the retribution he wanted from when they broke his hand in his car. Okay. Following that, then Tony interviewed Windham, Rhodes, and Simmons about the match and going forward. It was a really good interview. And then, of course, Jim Ross interviewing Jesse the Body Ventura, who would be joining commentary with Ross for the main event. Then I was like, all right, we got Shivani out of there. This is it. Let's go. Because our main event of the evening Sting and Ricky the Dragon Steamboat
Mm-hmm.
versus the television champion, Stunning Steve Austin, and the United States
Insane champion.
champion,
Yep.
Ravishing Rick Rude. Man, you couldn't put four better guys in the main event
Yeah.
here. This was a pay-per-view style
It
match.
really was. There were
Because
four Hall of
you look
Famers
at
right
it,
there. Yeah.
yes, you look at it. Rude's got a feud with Sting. You see him then get in the match with the ring with Steamboat. Go, oh, I know, we know what's coming.
Mm-hmm.
This was a very, very, very good match. That
Yep.
again, like I said, should have been on pay
Great
per
main
view,
event. Yeah.
not a clash.
Well, you gotta do stuff with the clashes though. You gotta
And
do that.
what's mind boggling to me is from the compared to the last clash to now, the rating was down. Remember, they drew a 4.3 last clash
Right.
in November. It's a 3.7 now. So that was a little weird to me. But
Yeah, I guess
but the
it's
following one after this draws even worse than that.
yeah,
So
they struggle. They struggle in the ratings after it starts to
in '92,
they're trying
unfortunately,
though. They're trying. They're putting on some good matches.
this is the best product I've seen that they have in 2 years,
Yeah.
maybe even three since '89. Because in 1991, it wasn't all that good. '92 with this Dangerous Alliance
Yeah.
started. I think also the problem was no Ric Flair, no Road Warriors. Lex Luger's on his way out. I mean that's the issue right there. Your big impact player, mainly Ric Flair, is not there. He's in the WWF at this point. So now, once again, during this match, again, it was really good. Um, it was interesting how this match ended. Austin had Steamboat up in a body, almost like a body slam, and Sting with a cross body onto Steamboat, which fell onto Austin. And Steamboat and Sting are both covering Austin, and they get the 3 count. And even Ventura's like, "Can
Yeah,
they
they
do
could
that?"
do
Somebody
that.
should have
Yeah.
told them, "Bro, this is WCW."
Yeah, you could do whatever you
Ross should
want.
have just said that to
Yeah.
him. Like, this is WCW. You're gonna see some shit
Hmm.
because he's freaking out. He goes, "Wait a minute, you can't do that, can they?" Dude, you forgot where you were.
He's also playing the heel role too, though. So.
Oh, he's the best at it. I'm sorry, him and Heenan
Hmm.
top two, Lawler number three to me. I'm sorry. Um, now after the match, the fight had continued, which was actually even better. Two rude awakenings on Steamboat, and Sting missed the Stinger splash on Austin. The Alliance was beating up the security guards as they're coming in. At first, I thought there was a fan coming in the ring. The way
Right,
aggressively
right,
they
right,
were
right.
hitting them, until I saw security on their shirt. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, damn. But they were whooping the hell out of them security guards, and then Rude whipping Sting and Steamboat with Dangerously's belt. This is far, far from over between Sting and Rude.
Hmm.
But Sting has to go put Rude on the back burner because in just 1 month's time, he's got a date with the champion.
Yep.
Sorry, Rude. I know you're number one, but
Yeah.
don't worry, you'll get there. And in
Yeah.
our minds, you're world heavyweight
Yeah.
champion.
No question
But
about that.
I think this clash was better than most.
It was good.
Yes, very. It was definitely to me an improvement. Not taking anything away from the last one that we watched, but the several before that were kind
It
of
was kind
like
of like
really.
lackluster. Yeah.
And of course, the next one's going to be all nothing but a tournament for the NWA Tag Title. So I mean, doing that, I can understand the ratings being low, but for this one, I couldn't understand
Yeah.
it.
I mean, just was what it was at that point with WCW.
This could have been their January pay per view, to be
Hmm.
honest.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. All right. Well, that's our review. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. We'll see you guys soon.
Take care.